All right, so get this. We're diving into the mystery of the Zodiac Killer. And I know you know the name. You know those creepy ciphers, the murders that are still unsolved out in California. And you send us a ton of stuff on it. Articles, videos, everything. Looks like you're ready to get deep on this one, so buckle up because we've got a lot to go through today. And well, I've got our expert right here. He's a crime historian and a profiler, and well, he's going to help us make sense of it all. The facts, theories, everything.
Glad to be here. The Zodiac case, it's like the Mount Everest of true crime, you know what I mean? People just can't get enough of it.
Okay, so I'm sure you know the basics already, but just to set the scene, it's the late 60s, the San Francisco Bay Area, and, well, things are about to get a whole lot scarier. December 1968, a young couple, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, they're parked out on a lover's lane in Benicia, and tragically they become, well, the Zodiac's first victims, the first ones we know of anyway.
You know, it's interesting, even this early on, the Zodiac picked a really secluded spot. You know, that says something. It says, this was planned out, that he thought about this, these attacks, I mean. This wasn't a random thing, he knew what he was doing. He was picking these people, these places, very carefully.
And it's even creepier when you realize that just a few months later, he does it again. July 1969, Darlene Ferrin and Michael McGough are attacked in a parking lot in Vallejo. Darlene, she doesn't survive, but Michael, he lives, and what he says gives us a little look, at how the Zodiac did things. His M.O.
Yeah, Michael, he described the guy, the Zodiac, I mean, as being really calm, like he had done this before. And he didn't kill Michael, did he? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. You think maybe he wanted someone to tell everyone what happened, to spread fear and, make everyone feel unsafe?
Exactly. He was building up his reputation, his notoriety, I guess is the word.
Yeah, he wanted to create this legend around himself, didn't he?
You got it.
Okay, and just when investigators think they are starting to understand his pattern, bam. September 1969, he attacks again. This time, it's Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard at Lake Berryessa. But this time, get this, he doesn't use a gun. He uses a knife. What do you make of that?
That's a good question. It is weird, right? Some profilers I've talked to, they think that maybe, just maybe, he knew one of them, or both of them. See, knife attacks, those are usually more personal, up close and personal, But then again, maybe he just wanted to show off a little, like, look at me, I can use anything to scare you.
Okay, but this is where it gets good. I mean, really interesting. He starts sending these letters, right? And they're full of these ciphers, these codes, and he's threatening people. And he sends them to the newspapers, demands they print them. Or else, talk about bold, am I right?
See, this is classic grandiose narcissism. He's not happy enough just doing these awful things. He needs people to know about it. He needs to be famous, infamous, really. He needs to feel in control, even if it's just messing with the cops and the media with his little games.
You're kidding, right? This guy, he's playing mind games on a whole other level.
Yep. And some of those ciphers, those codes, we've solved them. A couple of them, they give us a little window into how he thought. But those others, those are like locked doors,
There's one cipher in particular that has a crazy story. The one that's 340 characters long, sent in 1969. Get this, it wasn't cracked until, get this, 2020.
Oh yeah, I know the one you mean. Can you imagine how dedicated those code breakers were? I mean, years, decades even, trying to figure that thing out.
So what did it say? Don't leave me hanging.
Well, it's chilling. It said that the Zodiac, he believed he wouldn't be scared to die. Like, he actually welcomed death because it would send him to, and get this, paradise faster.
Paradise. He misspelled paradise. What a messed up way of looking at things. But you know what gets me? It's like, he wanted to be famous even after he died, Like some kind of legend, like he was above the law. Above death, even.
That's exactly it, isn't it? It's what makes him so fascinating to people, so scary, too. He gets to people in their deepest fears. We're all scared of the unknown, of things we can't explain. And to think, they never caught him, did they? It just adds to the, the whole mystique.
And it's not just the letters, is it? This is a guy who actually called the cops, the police, on himself.
I know, right? It's crazy. But that was the Zodiac for you. Always had to be one step ahead, in control. Like after he attacked Darlene Ferrin and Michael McGough, just a few minutes later, Vallejo police, they get this phone call, and it's him.
Okay, now you've got to tell me about this.
So the guy on the phone, he's totally calm, and he's like, yeah, I just killed those two. He even tells them where to find the car.
He didn't?
He did. And if that wasn't enough, he goes, oh, and by the way, I killed those kids last year too. Trying to pin those Lake Herman Road murders on himself.
No way. It's like he wanted to get caught But then also, like, rub it in their faces. What a messed up thing to do.
You see, that's what I'm talking about. That's the narcissist in him. He wants the attention, but he also has to feel smarter than everyone else. Untouchable.
You know what it reminds me of? Well, maybe not. But one time, someone kept prank calling my house. And it was scary, but there was also this weird, like, thrill to it. Like, who is this? What do they want? And I can't even imagine what it must have been like for the police getting these calls, knowing it was him, knowing they were dealing with, like, a whole other level of crazy.
Oh, absolutely. And that wasn't the end of it either. He calls again after the Lake Berryessa attack, tells them all about it, says, and I quote, "I'm the one who did it."
Classic.
He had to make sure everyone knew it was him, like he was some kind of criminal mastermind.
Yeah, a mastermind who couldn't stop bragging about his work. You know, for a guy who wanted to be in control so much, he sure did like to leave a trail.
And not just any trail, a trail of chaos. Remember that stunt he pulled with Melvin Belly?
Wait, remind me about that one.
Okay, so it's 1969, and the Zodiac, he calls this really popular talk show, right? And he's like, "Get me Melvin Belly. I want to talk to Melvin Belly." Now, Belly, he was like the big-time lawyer back then. The Zodiac, he knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. And Belly, he actually agreed to talk to him.
Oh, yeah, he did. They talked for hours, live, on the air.
Get out.
But of course it was a bust. The guy was a fake. Just some nobody wanting his 15 minutes.
Wow. Talk about a circus. It's crazy how much attention this case got, even back then. Like the original true crime obsession.
I said it. There was something about the Zodiac that just grabbed people's attention. Like watching a horror movie, but it was real life.
And everyone loves a good mystery, right? Especially one where the bad guy is as strange as the Zodiac.
Oh.
But you know, for all the mystery, there are still so many questions, aren't there? You know what's wild? When you think about it, it is kind of like a horror movie. Especially that part where he's all, I have 37 victims. Like he's bragging or something.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. 37 victims. Makes you wonder, right? Was he telling the truth? Or was that just him trying to make himself seem bigger and badder than he really was?
Oh, it had to be him trying to scare everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you think this is bad? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Right. Total manipulation. But, and this is the really creepy part, some people, some experts, I mean, they think he might have been telling the truth.
Whoa, seriously? You mean there could be all these other murders out there? Murders that he did, but we just haven't connected them yet.
It's possible. I mean, look at Cherie Jo Bates, murdered down in Riverside. There are definitely some things about that case that look a lot like the Zodiac.
And he even sent a letter to the police for that one, didn't he?
Yep.
Oh, and then there's Donna Lass, that poor nurse who disappeared in South Lake Tahoe, just gone. And that postcard, the one they think he sent, so creepy.
And the thing is, those are just the ones we know about. How many other cases are there? Cases that just got lost in the shuffle, or maybe the police didn't see the connection back then. It's sad, really, when you think about it.
I know, all those families, still wondering what happened to their loved ones. Not knowing, maybe, that it's all part of this big, horrible puzzle. It just goes to show you that this case, it's not just about codes and mysteries. It's about real people who got hurt.
You got it.
Speaking of trying to figure it all out, we have to talk about the zodiologists. Those guys are something else.
Oh man, they're dedicated, that's for sure. Your amateur sleuths, your armchair detectives, spending all their free time going over every last detail of this case.
It's kind of awesome though, don't you think? I mean, this happened back in the 60s,
Yeah.
right? And people are still this obsessed with it, like it's this real life game of Clue.
And you know, say what you will about them, but those zodiologists, they've actually done a lot to keep this case alive. They're always digging stuff up, new leads, new ways of looking at the evidence.
It's true. Like that group, the Case Breakers. They were all over the news a couple years ago saying they had finally figured out who the Zodiac was. Gary Francis Post, right?
That's right. They even had all this evidence, fingerprints, DNA.
But it turned out it wasn't him after all, was it?
Well, the police haven't confirmed anything. It's still officially an open case, which I think is part of the appeal. It's like one of those books, you know, the ones where you think you've got it all figured out and then bam, plot twist. You're back to square one.
So what does it all mean? Where do we even begin? Coded messages, threatening phone calls, a killer who loved the spotlight.
Yeah.
It's almost too much. What do you think? What's the legacy of the Zodiac?
You know, if you ask me, the Zodiac case, it reminds us that there are some things, some pretty dark things lurking out there, just below the surface of our everyday lives. And that even with all our technology, all our fancy gadgets and mysteries, they might just stay unsolved. forever.
Well said. Well, that about wraps it up for this deep dive into the Zodiac Killer. Thanks for coming along for the ride. We've talked about the facts, the theories, the mystery of it all, but maybe the answers are still out there somewhere. So keep your eyes peeled, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to finally crack the code.